check it out. The Porsche 919 Evo, I just learned about a month ago. If you haven't seen it, you got to look at the end screen of this video. I'll have a video linked that I did, and it went super, super viral, learning about this unbelievable machine. And we're going to learn more about it because I didn't know a damn thing about it other than it totally set a Nürburgring lap record, and it was super thrilling to watch. Well, we're going to learn about it because why wouldn't you learn about one of the fastest cars on Earth in recent memory? So this is how Porsche built a car faster than F1. And this is from an excellent channel I'm subscribed to called Driver61. I highly encourage you to check the channel out. This will be linked in the description down below. Please check it out, for real. And we're going to get straight to it because this car is insane, super fast, and I really want to learn the ins and outs of this thing. And how on earth this actual crazy hybrid race car that's not open wheel was arguably faster than the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula One. Let's check it out.
This is the Porsche 919 Evo. It's what you get when you take a Le Mans winning prototype and rip up the rulebook. In 2018, nice. Porsche set its engineers a single goal: make a car go faster than anything else. But how did Porsche make the 919 faster than even the latest F1 cars? What rules did Porsche need to ignore to turn an LMP1 car into a machine capable of being the fastest car ever to lap the Nürburgring? All of that coming up.
Very exciting concept, and they did it.
The Porsche 919 was a dominant machine in the World Endurance Championships LMP1 category, winning 17 of the 33 races it took part in, and winning 3 championships in a row from 2015 to 2017. It was a truly groundbreaking car with an astonishingly efficient V4 engine and one of the most advanced hybrid systems ever.
Wait a second. This lightning fast record-breaking car has a 4-cylinder? And not just a 4-cylinder, but not an inline 4 like, 9 out of 10 cars have. A V4? Okay, that's hella weird. That is like super strange, super unexpected. I would expect like some twin turbo 6-cylinder or maybe like a V8 or something, maybe a V12, right? A V4? Now, granted, it's a hybrid, and hybrids are where it's at nowadays, it seems to be like, and of course you can make insane power and torque out of an electric setup. But damn, that's a very interesting drivetrain. Wow. This V4 is, making fools out of people with double the cylinders.
After winning Le Mans 3 times over, the time came for Porsche to retire the 919, and with that, their LMP1 campaign.
Wow.
So Porsche looked for a way to give it the send-off it deserved.
Now, this is a dummy question, but I got to ask because I'm learning about all this stuff, and you guys are just the best, most amazing audience. I learn more from you guys than I do videos half the time. Why would they retire this car if it was so successful? Is it just because of funding? It just gets too expensive? Do they feel like they had their way with it, like it had a great, short stint, and they don't need to do any further? How's this? What's the logistics of why such a successful car like this would just have to end, right? That's something, it's kind of a shame, like, damn, it was so good, why couldn't it stick around longer? But I don't really know how that works. Please fill me in if you know that.
With that, Porsche produced one final hurrah, the 919 Evo. They stuck the rule books in the shredder and let their engineering team loose. This resulted in them building a car that demolished the Nürburgring lap record that had stood for over 35 years and was held by another Porsche, the legendary 956C. In the end, the 919 beat the 956.
I just saw Group C racing that looks similar to that. Maybe that's the same thing or similar. Yesterday. So look for that video as well. That is from very recently if you're watching this. And those cars were awesome. I mean, arguably the ancestors that predated, more current LMP1 cars, right? I didn't realize a Porsche 956, is that what he said? I'm going to have to learn about that car. That was the previous record holder, 35 years in a row, was another Porsche, or Porsche. I know you're going to notice I bounce between both. I don't know what it is. I'm nuts. But yeah, that's insane. I mean, Porsche really knows what they're doing at Nürburgring. It's beautiful. That's awesome.
By lapping in 5 minutes and 19 seconds. The
My
Porsche
God, that's
919
fast.
Evo gave Porsche the opportunity to ditch the normal LMP1 rules, where to keep cars safe when racing, they are limited by rules like maximum fuel flow, maximum
Yeah.
energy deployment over a single lap, and the size of the aerodynamic devices. And because of these rules and the extra reliability needed for endurance racing, LMP1 cars generally are about 15 seconds slower than F1 cars over a single lap.
Okay.
So how did Porsche go about gaining that extra performance? The first thing Porsche did was to remove the rule-mandated fuel flow restrictor, which without changing anything else about the power unit, allowed the 2-litre V4 combustion engine to produce an extra 220 horsepower, taking the engine's power from 500 to 720 brake horsepower. They were
720 horsepower out of a V4? Holy smokes.
also able to amp up the car's electric motor, the MGUK, from 400 horsepower to 440, meaning the 919 Evo's powertrain produces 1,160 horsepower in total. The hybrid system in the 919 is similar to that of an F1 car, with an MGUK that recharges the battery under braking and deploys the energy under acceleration.
This thing's got over 1,100 horsepower. Holy smokes.
In addition to this, the car regenerates energy from the exhaust gases in a turbo with its MGUH. However, the 919 deploys this extra power through the front wheels, making it four-wheel drive rather than the two-wheel drive setup that F1 cars use. Porsche were able to transform the standard aero package by adding an active aero system. This uses hydraulics to change the attack angle of the revised front diffuser and rear wing throughout the lap, allowing the car to dynamically increase downforce for the corners and reduce drag for the straights. This enables the car to reach a staggering 223 miles an hour along the Kemmel Straight at Spa. Porsche also added skirts down the side of the car to trap airflow running past the undertray and out of the giant diffuser, maximizing the effect of the low pressure air under the car and sucking it onto the track.
So this car, in a nutshell, that we've learned so far, is a total engineering masterpiece, like superpower. Like, here's a team of top racing engineers at Porsche. We already have a super successful LMP1 car. Let's take all the restrictions off and just go absolute haywire on it. And this is what you get, the fastest car in the world. It's freaking awesome. Holy smokes.
This is regulated against in pretty much every form of motorsport since the very successful but ultimately dangerous Lotus 79 Formula 1 car from the 80s. This is the beauty of the 919 Evo. These things don't matter when you're only completing a couple of laps and are the only car on the track. With the combined effect of the revised wings, diffusers and skirts, the Evo produces 53% more downforce than the standard 919.
Wow.
Porsche actually say that the Evo produces more downforce than a Formula 1 car.
Holy smokes.
Because the Porsche 919 Evo won't be required to complete 24 hours at Le Mans, Porsche were able to remove things like headlights, windscreen wipers, pneumatic jacks and cockpit cooling systems. All of this led to the Evo being 86 kilograms.
I noticed how it had no headlights, which is odd, right? But everything is built for aero on this. Everything's built for power. This is just a crazy car. It's literally the top tier of race car unleashed. It's spectacular.
Lighter than the standard car, meaning the Evo has a power to weight ratio of 1,350 brake horsepower per ton. Porsche also called upon Michelin to produce a one-off tyre for the Evo, increasing the grip on the tarmac with a custom-made, much softer compound. It was so soft that Porsche had to complete laps of the Nürburgring in the early hours of the morning, so the track temperature was low enough for the tyres to stay in their optimum operating window throughout the lap.
Okay, let me add this further. That not only is this a engineering masterpiece, it's like a scientific essay. It is like everything scientific with this, down to the time of day they freaking lap this thing. Custom made tires, I bet, because if they're only doing 1 or 2 laps at a time, they're never doing a 6-hour, a 12-hour, or 24-hour race. Why would you need tires that go a long time that you switch out every, hour or two or whatever? This thing only has to go 1 or 2 laps. You can make them super soft, super grippy. Everything about this is crazy. And I guess you could argue it's a bad race car. Like you can, because of all the modifications they did, it becomes the fastest time trial car like ever, you could argue. But it wouldn't be a good endurance race car anymore because they've basically taken that aspect out of it. And what I'm saying is just talking to you guys. It's just kind of brainstorming. It's interesting, right? So the regular LMP1 version would be clearly, because that's what it's made for, better at endurance, whereas this thing kind of loses its endurance factor but substitutes it for the fastest car in the world. So it's really interesting. Either way, it is just spectacular. I'm really fascinated right now learning about this, and I hope you guys are too.
Porsche were also able to implement some clever hydraulics to enhance the braking systems as well, using the onboard computer systems to create a torque vectoring braking system.
Wow.
Sensors check the grip levels on each contact patch hundreds of times a second, and using a computer to apply the optimum brake pressure to stop the car as quickly as possible,
Oh my
keeping
God.
the tyre right on the limit of grip.
This is
If you're still
nuts.
watching and enjoying this video, let me take 1 second to ask you to subscribe to the Driver 61 channel. Porsche's main goal with the
well worth it.
919 Evo was the lap record at Spa. At the time, this was held by Lewis Hamilton with his pole time of a 1 minute 42.553. This was over 13 seconds faster than the qualifying time that Brendan Hartley set in the standard 919 at Spa the year before.
And keep in mind, the regular LMP version versus the F1, the LMP version was 13 seconds slower around Spa, and 13 seconds in racing is an eternity. I know that much. That is like literally so far apart. If he's going to imply that the 919 Evo was faster, then they really, that should show you how much work and just insane pedigree they added to this car to make it that much faster. Wow.
After a few attempts, Neil Yarney, the Porsche Works driver, managed an astounding time of a 141.7 in the 919 Evo, and so beat the Mercedes F1 car by just over 7/10 of a second, an incredible margin considering the pace of the current era of Formula One cars.
Wow.
The only lap record the Evo didn't beat was at Brands Hatch, where I actually have the outright lap record. With a car like the
What? Holy smokes.
Evo, it's tough to see what the next lap record holder could be. There are very few cars that could challenge it in outright performance. The first has to be if an F1 car took a page from Porsche's book and threw the rules in the shredder to make a one-off hot lapping monster.
That's a fair point. LMP1 cars, prototypes with rules versus F1 with rules, the F1 wins, right? The F1 wins hands down. Then you take the LMP car, you give it to a team of engineers, say, screw the rules, build this as fast as you can, modify it as hard as you can. Voila, it's faster than the F1 car with rules. That's still a great feat, but then you gotta also imagine, wait, what if we take an F1 car and throw the rule book across the room and say, go ham on this thing. Make it as fast as you can. It makes you wonder, right? I would guess, even though I have immense fascination and respect for this unbelievable 919 Evo, I do think it would just be a tad faster in F1 car, totally unleashed. But it should not subtract how great the 919 Evo is. I am super fascinated by it. I want to see more. It is just a great vehicle. Any car guy of any capacity from any country, it's totally different to what I'm used to. You know, muscle cars, trucks, NASCAR, IndyCar. That's my thing, right? And opening my horizons up has been the best thing ever. But this 919 Evo is just on another level. It's hard to comprehend how fast it is, and it's awesome. It's freaking awesome, man.
Imagine this year's Mercedes F1 car with active aero and more power. F1 cars are currently held back by a minimum weight limit and maximum fuel flow allowed.
Okay.
Removing these limits could create a car much more capable than the 919 Evo.
Right.
There could also be a possibility of an electric car going quicker. VW have developed an equally bonkers prototype that could be capable of a similar time.
You guys have hinted at this, especially on that video that you got to check out if you never saw it on the end screen. I'll have that original 919 Evo lap record video on my channel linked back there. But yeah, I heard that Volkswagen created a super fast electric car, and I have yet to learn about it. So look for that very soon. I got to catch up.
It's called the IDR Pikes Peak. It's a dual motor, 4-wheel drive track machine with some very clever torque vectoring that set the Nürburgring lap record for an electric car at 6 minutes and 5 seconds.
Jeez.
However, this is still 40 seconds off the 919 Evo, but it could fare better over a shorter lap at Spa. Interestingly, Neil Yarni, the lap record holder at Spa, said that the car could go a lot faster, but the limiting factor was himself. The sheer G-force on his body meant he couldn't go quicker. At times, the car was pulling 4.5 G of lateral acceleration, meaning Neil had to take 2 months to train his neck to be able to cope with the car's performance.
Wait a second. Just driving the car, not being in a crash? 4.5 Gs? Okay, that's insane. Because I know, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I've heard in NASCAR, good old NASCAR, that's my thing, right? I'm pretty sure that they can pull in certain situations, whether it's braking to avoid a wreck or on some crazy turns going really fast, full out. I think they can pull 1.5 Gs maybe. 4.5 Gs? Holy smokes, is he driving a 919 Evo or is he flying a freaking fighter jet? Holy crap. That's insane. What a banger to end on there. That's actually scary, right? Like, he would have to, exercise his core, his neck, and be able to breathe and not, be, overwhelmed with that. That's just crazy. That was great. I did exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn about this car. This video has been suggested by many of you. I apologize for not thinking a single person because it was too hard to track down for me. I know a bunch of people recommended this, and I knew this was long overdue on my channel. So yeah, make sure to check the end screen for the original lap record. You can watch me be fascinated by that there. Otherwise, I am equally as fascinated by learning about the actual blueprint of this car. It is absolutely incredible. Had no idea it had only a freaking 4-cylinder in it. Granted, I know it's a hybrid. It has a lot of EV or electric power rather along board. But yeah, what a machine. How fun is it to see a rich car company with top engineers just go haywire on a already fast race car. What a fun concept, right? At none other than arguably one of the best tracks in the world, Nürburgring. What a awesome track that I have a lot to learn about. And it's on my bucket list to hopefully sometime in my life visit, because I would love nothing more than to take a lap in anything. It could be a school bus. It could be a freaking 3-cylinder hatchback. I don't care. I want to do a lap at Nürburgring. I think that would be super fun. But with that being said, guys, you could look for this original video in the description down below. I highly encourage you to check it out so you can watch it uninterrupted and check more out from that channel. Super, super awesome stuff. And look for other ways you can interact with me down there as well. Please smash a like button, a thumbs up on this video, because it will help it out, and I greatly appreciate it. And join our amazing community on this channel by simply hitting that subscribe button. Subscribe, join our amazing community. It's a great time here. You won't regret it. And with that being said, guys, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.